There's no point standing around. We'll only be showered by more boulders. Ready your horses on the double.
Be honest. Are all of us riding to our deaths?
Yes, we are.
And since we're dying anyway, you're saying that it's better if we at least die fighting?
I am.
But wait, if we'll die anyway, then who cares what we do? We could just disobey your orders, and it wouldn't mean a thing, would it?
Yes, you're precisely right. Everything that you thought had meaning, every hope, dream, or moment of happiness, none of it matters as you lie bleeding out on the battlefield. None of it changes what a speeding rock does to a body. We all die. But does that mean our lives are meaningless? Does that mean that there was no point in our being born? Would you say that of our slain comrades? What about their lives? Were they meaningless? They were not! Their memory serves as an example to us all! The courageous fallen, the anguished fallen, their lives have meaning because we, the living, refuse to forget them! And as we ride to certain death, we trust our successors to do the same for us! Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world! My soldiers push forward! My soldiers scream out! My soldiers raise!
How we doing, guys? Welcome in. How we doing, team? David, Starks, Patsy, how are we all doing? I was playing anime remixes in the gym earlier, and I was just like, oh, I wonder why I should not play those on stream. How has everyone been doing? Thomas, how are we doing? Let me know if you can hear everything okay. I know that sometimes the audio cuts a little bit because the noise gate on the mic, I'm trying to cut out the sound of the fans. And if it sounds weird at all, just shout, because I don't want you to miss anything. But how is everyone doing? Yeah, exactly. Still dreaming. That's what we need. Just everyone go to the gym, and I'll just motivate you. Okay, get your headphones in, and I'll just give you an epic speech. So, you got your first ever shundo. Congrats. What was it, Stark? What was it? Is it one that you golden bottle capped, or was it a non-trained shundo? I guess that's a fair question that we have to ask now, right? Legit shundo. Lyle, welcome in, dude. So, Thomas, I actually just used my bottle cap about 10 minutes ago. And I had just finished the final tasks that I needed to finish to catch my shiny Meloetta. So I've used it on shiny Meloetta because it's the most future-proof investment that I was able to make. Because as someone that's not playing Worlds, I didn't really need anything for Great League that was going to be a guaranteed Pokemon for me for the long term. So I thought, look, I've got a Meloetta, shall I use it on Meloetta? But then I knew that we had a shiny Meloetta available in the research, and so I was like, I better go and do the research. And that took me, I think 8 days. It took me 8 days to do the research or something like that. And I had 2 more days left to use the bottle cap, I think it is. So I'm glad I managed to get my tasks done. Guys, I had to do 100 research tasks. So yeah, Meloetta would be for Master League. I don't think it's even as good as it has been in the past, but generally speaking, you're going to get fewer mythical Pokemon than you are anything else. You can't trade them. This is not just a shundo, it's a mythical shundo, and we're very unlikely to get this form of Meloetta for a very long time. We might get the other form of Meloetta, we might get Pirouette form, but that's a different type, it's a different Pokemon, so... I could have waited until EV Day to spam those easy researches. Keepton, I probably won't play EV Day, but yeah, maybe I could have. You'll be the owner of a trained Shundo King Gambit, says Henry. Henry, I was going to do King Gambit, and then I thought to myself, pause, lucky trade shinies, and maybe you get one that I can just regular bottle cap instead. And I'm obviously going to beg for a metal sound buff, and maybe we get it, at which point I'll definitely be investing more in King Gambit, but until I can guarantee that King Gambit would be really strong in Master League, and I could have done a shiny, but there was just... It would have had to have been a little bit more sentimental. Like, maybe if I'd got a shiny King Gambit from someone, or it was caught in a certain place, then that would have persuaded me a little bit more, but I'm comfortable with Meloetta. I might not ever use it, but I can't complain. I think it's a sensible decision, if nothing else. Marshadow's a good shout as well. I think Marshadow's a good shout. Have I switched over to CrossFit? I haven't started any CrossFit or anything. I've been gymming a lot, which has been good, and I've been trying to implement more cardio, and I'm playing a lot of sport at the moment. And CrossFit will come, but like CrossFit is also like its own membership in itself, and it is an investment. So I think I'd have to really be ready for it. But I like the idea of being around other people that are very motivated to do stuff. Because at the moment in the gym, like I don't have my gym buddy is ChatGPT, right? So there's only so much you can do. But yeah, maybe I'll get to it, and I think that it probably will be a cool experience. One thing, team, when we get into this stream, we'll do a set of GBL, and then I want to talk about the news that we've had. And we've had quite a lot of news recently, but specifically, I want to go into some depth on Aegislash, and we will talk more about what it means for the Great League and for Play Pokemon as well. So let's get straight into some GBL. Let me check, am I actually connected? Let me see. Let's go check. We're here. Okay, what league are we in? We're in Great League. I mean, this was the team that I think I had last time I streamed. Does anyone want to give me a team that they'd like me to try? I don't mind. Great League. What do we think's fun? Gym without a friend low-key sucks. It's different. It's just different. Sometimes I have the motivation and I don't even need or want anyone else there. But then there are other times when, like I played a football match yesterday and then I did legs in the gym today, and I was tired, and I definitely didn't do as much as I could have done if I maybe had someone pushing me. But it's okay. I'm okay. We'll see. Chuck, how we doing? Welcome in. Right, does anyone want to give me a team for Great League? Does anyone have anything that we're testing? Is there anything that's suddenly emerging? I keep seeing some people talking about Shadow Fortress. I've never really got to use Toxtricity, but it's never actually been as good as we wanted it to be. I don't even know what... I mean, why don't we just go into a... Actually, I saw Butters tweeted. What was he using? He was using the Flyer Mudboy with a Belly Bolt in the middle, right? Pidgeot. Lyle, what's the Sun team? Aiden was using non-Shadow Golurk, Fortress, and Carbink. Shadow Steelix Primeape Jumpluff. The most broken one is coming as soon as... Right, let's do a set, and then we can talk about all of the new Pokemon that are coming. So, Steelix... Shadow Steelix... I'm not TMing Crunch onto Steelix. That's a waste of my TMs. An Energy Ball Shadow Jumpluff. I don't think I'm likely to do that either. And also, I don't think I like any of those Pokemon. Fabian, my grind routine to get candies and PvP IVs. I guess it's tricky because I've obviously been playing the game for a number of years now, so a lot of the things that I've got are just through time more than anything else. I think when something comes out that I specifically want, then I will probably grind a little bit more. For PvP IVs, I am very lucky that I'm in London, and so I have tons of people that I can trade with, and also when I go to events, there are obviously so many PvP players there that want to trade as well. So a lot of my PvP IVs will come through thousands of trades across all of the different Pokemon that I need. But also, I don't really mind too much about PvP IVs sometimes. I'm someone that, as long as I know how to use the Pokemon that I've got, I will build the best thing that I have, and I will use that until I get something better. So if you were to look at my storage, right, if I were to just press Great League and filter by Pokedex number, for example, you will see, as I scroll down, that there are repeats of tons of Pokemon, right? And that's not necessarily because they're running different movesets. Sometimes they are running different movesets, but a lot of the time it's just because I built the best one I had, and then I got something better, and I built it. And I didn't want to be the type of person that was like, oh, I'm not going to build something until I get the exact one I want, because I still wanted to practice with that Pokemon, and most of the times, minor IV differences are probably not going to make a difference. So, yeah, you'll see that there are some where I've just got like, I mean, if we get down to Annihilate, I'm sure I've got at least 6 Annihilate built for Great League, because I just kept building slightly different spreads to see if it had different impacts. Okay, I've got 5 currently tagged for Great League. I think I've got... Oh, actually, if I don't tag for Great League, but if I say... is this the tag for if they got double moved? So this is Pokemon that are double moved with a CP up to 1500. And yeah, look how many Annihilate I've ended up building over time. So I've untagged some of them as being Great League now, but yeah, there's 8 there, and yeah, tons of repeats of things. So yeah, you've got 9, Lyle. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. What next? Drop my skincare routine. I did my skincare routine last time. We did the skincare routine, and then we did the gym routine. Yeah, just keep grinding. You got a rank 6 fortress for Ultra League. Oh yeah, one thing I would say is you don't need to rush for these things. Like, don't, you know, there are so many Pokemon that you can try and that you can use. Like, sometimes just put it on the back burner, because I invested loads of rare XLs into a Great League Hippopotas once because I really wanted it. And I do look back and think I maybe didn't need to do that. I could have just waited. It wasn't an urgency. You really want my skin routine. One thing I genuinely say is, we'll start the battle and I'll talk about it. One thing I genuinely say when it comes to skin is, I didn't realize how important a good skincare routine was until probably October of last year. And I am now so religious with my skincare routine, and it's just like, I don't know, I find it very cathartic. But I use ChatGPT quite a lot to help me out with it. I gave it a lot of information about what my skin was like in the past, what I wanted, how old I was, what my skin type and condition is like, and then took what it said, did my own research off the back of what it said. Just got the attack boost. So they're on 2. And then yeah, and stuck to it, and it works. So SPF is the most important thing, guys. That's all I'd say. And for gymming, drink lots of water and just want it. 7, 8, 9. Shield this if they want. Yeah, and everyone has to work with what they've got, right? Like, look after yourselves and don't pressure yourselves, because also stress is super bad. Do you know what? I used to get really bad physical impacts from stress, and I'm not someone that stresses much about things in my life, but when I do stress, I notice that it impacts me. So there was once where, how much energy did their Sizzle have? I think they were leaving just as they were approaching a Trailblaze, so they definitely got a Aegislash. Oh, this is interesting. Is this CMP? So there was once when I was, honestly, it's probably more stressful relationships than anything else, because I don't really get stressed by much. Ooh, attack rose, guaranteed. Should I stay? No, you're done. I need to shield the Sizzle's Trailblaze, so I'll just no shield whatever this Goliath has. I'll just full farm this down, and then I'll full farm the Sizzle down as well. Yeah, so when I got stressed once in a relationship like 7 years ago now, I had a random patch in my beard underneath my chin, and it just went white. Oh, I'm in trouble. That was lucky. I was like, if I throw an attack here, they guarantee reaching their next Aegislash. So that was good. Yeah, so I had once where I had a white patch grow in my beard, and that was really weird because it didn't even feel like real hair. And then years afterwards in a different situation, I randomly got this twitch in my eye, and my eye would just be like shaking like this. And I was like, oh boy. So I know I'm susceptible to things, and just have to live, you have to recognize that, and I guess live in a way that you avoid those triggers, right? Also, one thing I've started doing, especially since I've moved into my own flat here, I have collected all of my bottles from events, right? All of these bottles, and at all times I am just constantly filling them and putting them into the fridge, so that I have water, like full bottles of water available almost all the time. And first thing you do in the morning is kind of get up and also go grab a bottle of water at some point early on in your morning routine and try and just chug water. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sobs the lagger. How we doing, dude? How's the fam? 7, 8. Okay. 6, 7. Okay, well, I'll just not take a superpower. That's fine by me. How am I going to get rid of this? So here's the rock tomb. The difficulty is okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Please have thrown your acrobatics here. He asked for a team, then ignored. Lyle, you gave me a bad team, dude. I'm not using that team. Okay, well, this is bad because I don't think that this is going to knock out, because it's resisted against a 2000 stat product. That's unfortunate. No, because you gave me a team that's going to require me to do loads of TMing, and I'm not doing that. Not doing that. Oh, anyone that wants to use Moltres in Worlds, I think I have an IV spread that I like. And I'm going to share it with you because I'm not playing, so I don't care who uses it. I think in this exact meta, 693 gives a really nice spread of stats for Galarian Moltres. It picks up a ton of breakpoints, doesn't really drop any relevant bulk points, gives you an advantage in CMP against Shadow Drapion, and generally has enough bulk to still be a really solid competitor. It has the bulk, the breakpoint versus Mandibuzz, for example, and can tank everything that it needs to tank. I'm going to throw Night Slash and get the boost. Wait, did I just lose CMP? That's crazy. What CP is my Sizzle? Oh, I'm using the wrong Sizzle. Okay, that's why. 2, 3, 4. You said non-shadow jump up and breaking swipe is fine. Oh, sorry, Lyle, I missed that. Well, after this set, I'm happy to use your team. 7. Eight. No. Okay, remind me after this set we're discussing our new entrance to the field. Their Sizzle was on how much energy? 1 and 2. Sponge everything on the Lapras. And then we probably shield Sizzle. Question is, do I farm up a tiny bit more or not? Maybe I do a tiny bit. Then could reach an Ice Beam first if we need to, but let's see what it is. Or we go straight into a Moltres maybe. That's what we want. 2. Gonna get close. 6. I don't know how if we're close enough to a Brave Bird here. We're gonna get bubbled down anyway. It mattered. Wouldn't have mattered. Oh, if we play Steelix there, we're probably in a pretty good position. So maybe you're right, Lyle. Maybe Steelix is what we need. Let's try your Steelix team now, then. Oh. Steelix. What did you say the other one was? Jumpluff and? Primate. Shadow or regular? Regular Primate. What move? Close combat? Cool. Why is this one called Kyle's Bully? I don't remember what the joke was when I built that one, but... Uh-oh, fire type? Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. I'm not a mean guy. Any Typhlosion enjoyers. We can take down a Typhlosion, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's tricky. The more Pokemon that come out, the more difficult it is to run a team that isn't ABA to something, right? Yeah, if we face a Macargo, we're in trouble. Okay, well, this is fine. Oh, they're going for the Night Slash. Interesting. Okay, I don't know if this is the right play, but we've not used the team before, so we'll see. 2, 3. I'm glad we've got the regular here because it means we won't be bubbled down. We've actually, this primate, this shiny one, has an Azumarill bubble bulk point. And a Karate Chop breakpoint, I think. I can't remember. I've got quite a lot of primate built, so I don't know which one's which. 7. Do we close combat the next one? 8, 9, 10. I've taken the bubble damage, so I'm not taking extra damage from the bubble here. Then we go back into Steelix. We can Thunderfang down anything. Breaking Swipe. Even though they'll shield, so maybe we should Psychic Fangs, but... 5. 9. They're probably running Power Gem. 9 Shadow Claws, so they're on 72. Cool. Here's the next Power Gem, but then we should be outpacing, so our job is just to not allow a catch. What do we know about Aegislash? We'll discuss it in a minute. Wait, do I need to catch? Do not. I lent for it though. I lent for it. I lent for my aerial ace. Okay. Nice. Team worked, Lyle. The team worked. We need to discuss Aegislash because it is looking like it's going to be available for Worlds, which puts a spanner in everyone's preparation for if you've been playing the last month trying to get your team ready, then you might need to have a little rethink. Okay. Lyle, if there are any specific matchups that I'm supposed to do something, please tell me, because otherwise I'm just going to play as degen as I expect you to want me to play. Will Litleo be a staple? I mean, yeah, if you're the kind of person that just wants to play hard RPS, sure. If you don't want to win Worlds, yes. Okay, what have we got? We've got Primate. Oh my goodness, get out. I somehow didn't take the charm damage on the Primate. If they let this go, I might let Jumpluff go. Interesting. Will this work? Nice. Nice. Yeah, I had a feeling there was just that last moment I was like, what have you got in the back that you're happy that you've not switched into my jump luff? And I was like, let me just save this because I've got a decent amount of energy. Right, guys. If you're not paying attention, you need to pay attention now. Come with me. So, very much unlike last year, where we had very few releases, this year is seeing a ton of new releases coming in quick succession, which is quite exciting. And part of it is because obviously we've just had Go Fest, which triggers a number of Ultra Unlocks, but each of these Ultra Unlocks are giving us new Pokemon. So the first one, which is coming out on Tuesday, is the Hisuian Zorua family. And this is going to be the only normal and ghost-type Pokemon in Pokemon GO. So certain types had 0 resistances, right? They had unresisted damage, and one of those types, for example, would have been the Fighting plus Ghost combination. Hisuian Zorua and Hisuian Zoroark will be the only Pokemon in the game that resist both Fighting and Ghost. The only issue is that Zorua does not get to 1500, and Zoroark has a stat product of 1389, which means that neither of these will ever be viable in Great League PvP. So maybe just a nice to have, unfortunately. If you want to have a look at how they might fare in Master League, we can have a look. And unfortunately, it's not getting above 3000 CP. So your best hope for Hisuian Zoroark is that we have a 3000 CP league one day introduced. And even then, it's probably not going to be the biggest hitter in the world without probably a big move update. Maybe a normal attack. I don't know if it's got a signature attack, but probably just going to be a nice one for the Pokedex because it looks pretty. If you want to use it, stick to TCG. Next, Hisuian Lilligant is coming in a raid day on July the 12th, which is a very cool Pokemon as well. Lilligant, do we have the Hisuian version in PvPoke yet? Let's have a look if we do. I don't know if we do. Okay, so Hisuian Lilligant, let's Google it instead then. This is your Hisuian, this is your normal Lilligant, and your Hisuian Lilligant picks up fighting typing. It has a big attack stat and a big speed stat, and that immediately tells us that it's very likely to have low stat product in the Great League. It doesn't have a huge total base stats, so again, probably not one for PvP. But that is on the 12th, and it is coming in a raid day. After that, on the 15th, Tuesday, July the 15th, we have Tatsugiri coming in 3 different forms. We've got the curly form, the droopy form, and the stretchy form. And these will be region locked, so can't be under 1500. The Hisuian Lilligant? I don't know. Someday it might be, but it's not relevant. So Tatsugiri coming in these 3 forms. For me, it'll be this curly form here, which I think is... I actually have no idea which one's which. Should we Google it? Let's Google it. Curly Tatsugiri. Okay, that's the orange one. Droopy is the pink one, and stretchy is the yellow one. So curly, droopy, and stretchy. I don't think these are going to be particularly impactful for PvP. I'm just having a quick scroll through the rest of the event to see if there's anything that you need to be really wary of. Shiny Wimpod's always cool. Staryu. Oh, that's good. You should get Staryu. And let's have a look at Tatsugiri. So Tatsugiri in its curly form, 1600 stat product. They all look to be the same stats, just slightly different forms. Unlikely to be particularly impactful in PvP. So the first three events, Zorua, Hisuian Lilligant, and Tatsugiri, are probably just dex entries. But then, on July 22nd, we have what could be one of the most impactful additions to Pokemon GO PvP to date, and that is the Honedge family, which evolves into Doublade and eventually into Aegislash. I think we've all been anticipating the entry of Aegislash into Pokemon GO, and many of us were very surprised to see it coming at a time where it will be eligible for the World Championships in Anaheim this summer. One of the reasons why people have been understandably apprehensive about Aegislash is because it comes in two forms, the Shield form and the Blade form, and the Shield form is hitting a stat product of 2800. And to give you a comparison, Bastiodon is 2837, but is a Steel and Rock type, whereas Aegislash is a Steel and Ghost type. And defensively speaking, that is one of the best types in the game. If we were to go and have a look at Aegislash's resistance profile, we can see that we have a double resistance to normal. We're weak to fire. We are resistant to grass, ice, double resist fighting, double resist poison. We're weak to ground. We resist flying. We resist psychic. We double resist bug. We resist rock. We are weak to ghost. We resist dragon. We are weak to dark. We resist steel, and we resist fairy. So how many resistances was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 resistances. And from memory, that is the second most resistances that you can possibly get in the game. 12 resistances. But when you add 12 resistances to ghost typing and steel typing, which we know both have double resistances as well, so it's got 12 resistances, of which 4, because you've got bug as well, 4 in Pokemon GO are double resistances. No, fighting's actually not double resisted by Aegislash in Pokemon GO, so 3 are double resisted. Then that's something pretty impressive. Lawrence, thanks very much for the sub, dude. Appreciate you. Some of these are triple resistances. We don't have... we do have triple resistances. Oh my goodness. So normal is triple resisted. Poison is triple resisted. Fighting is actually only single resisted. So we have 2 triple resistances. 1 double resistance in bug, and 9 single resistances. With weak to dark, ghost, fire, and ground. Dark, ghost, fire, and ground. Those are the super effective types. And of those, fire and ghost might be the most effective, and that is because they also resist Aegislash's fast attack, which is Fury Cutter. But now I want you to pay attention, please, because I am going to postulate a theory for how I think Aegislash might work in PvP, and there is nothing confirming this. Just to be clear, this is a proposal, and the proposal is because it makes the most sense to me. So it doesn't necessarily mean that what I'm saying is accurate, But this is how I think they will implement it. So, there are two forms of Aegislash that we all know, right? The shield form and the blade form. And we know that for the purposes of PvP, that the attack stat is weighted the most heavily, so the blade form, which has an absolute ton of attack, has a very low stat product of just 1250, compared to the 2800 of the shield form. So what makes sense? Well, my understanding is that the intention is for Aegislash to be available at Worlds. And if that were the case, it is unlikely that they would expect players in the 3 to 4 weeks that it is going to be available, that you will be able to get enough XLs to get to level 47, which is what a rank 1 shield form would require. Okay, that's unlikely that they would say go and get up to level 47 worth of XLs for shield form. So that gives me my first indication that the CP for the purposes of Great League is more likely to be determined by the blade form. So in your storage, it is more likely to be in blade form, such that in order to get it to 1500 CP, once you've traded yourself a good one, let's say you trade yourself a 2-14-13, right? It's a very high rank Aegislash, maybe more realistic than the rank 1, okay? So you're trading yourself a 2-14-13, bearing in mind that Hone Edge is only available in 1-star raids and in GBL rewards. So you do need to trade if you want PvP IVs. A 2-14-13 blade form hits level 21. Okay. Aegislash is going to be a form change Pokemon mid-battle. So if you were to start with a 1499 blade Aegislash that dictates what you're able to take into Great League, what I would expect is that as soon as you enter battle, you actually start the battle with shield form. Okay. So you have blade form in your storage, but as soon as you enter battle, it starts in shield form. But what happens? You cannot change level. The level that you powered it up to is fixed. So what I think will happen is that your shield form will be the level of your blade form. Here, level 21. So what happens, right? What we're going to do is we're going to put 2, 14, 13 into the shield form, and we're going to change it to level 21. And immediately you're going to say to me, what do you mean? You're thinking that it's going to change to an 839 CP Pokemon with 1100 stat product? To which I say yes. I think that that is going to happen. And the reason that I think that that is going to happen is because shield form does not need its attack. And the reason that it's only hitting 839 CP, and the reason that it's only hitting 1100 stat product, is because it has 50 to 60 attack, okay? But look at its defense and stamina, 186 and 102. And let's just click a Pokemon that we know has high defense. Let's go with a Regice. 183.6 and 116. So if you ignore the overall stat product that takes into account the attack stat, you're actually dealing with a Pokemon here that has the bulk comparable to a Regice. Even at 839 CP, it cannot do damage, but it is tanky. And so what does that mean? It means that they're giving it Fury Cutter because they're expecting Fury Cutter to do 1 damage to almost everything in the meta. Almost everything in Great League, especially if it's neutral and not super effective, will just take 1 from Fury Cutter. But Fury Cutter is generating 4 energy every turn, right? So what is Aegislash trying to achieve? Sammy says Great League Regice isn't the bulkiest thing. I mean, it's hitting near 2200 stat product. It's reasonably bulky, right? And it's an ice type, which makes it terrible. Aegislash is a steel and a ghost type. We've discussed its resistances. So 2200 stat product with those resistances, it's not going to be the easiest thing to take down. However, Fury Cutter will charge you very, very quickly into your charge attacks. And your charge attacks here, you can see we've got Shadow Ball and Gyro Ball. You can run Flash Cannon or Gyro Ball. Gyro Ball is a bit cheaper. So what happens, right? Well, the Fury Cutters are going to charge energy into your Shadow Ball. And my proposition is that when you click that charged attack, you will change into Blade form. So your Fury Cutters did no damage, but as soon as you change into Blade form, do you remember what the attack stat of an Aegislash in Blade form was? If we put back in 214, 13, 179 attack, so near 100, probably 180 attack unless you're using a really high rank one. 180 attack is like nothing we've ever seen in Great League. That is so high with stab on a Shadow Ball that you are putting your opponent in a situation where, unless they are something bulky that resists, you are getting a knockout. So you are forcing a shield or a knockout, okay? And then what happens? Well, my proposal would be that you stay in Blade form until you switch or until you shield. And this is where we are introduced to a completely new approach to PvP, because players will then have to make a decision. Do you A, stay in and try and do Fury Cutter damage and reach another Shadow Ball, or do you realize that you are taking damage relative to your 1200 stat product and you are getting shredded by fast attacks? Because your opponent is not going to bother throwing a charge attack into you. If they throw a charge attack and you get to shield it, you just go back into shield form. Why would they need to throw a charge attack when they can probably fast attack you down? You've only got 100 stamina, you've got 1200 stat product, which is absolutely nothing. So you will get shredded. So it's give and take. As the Aegislash user, you near guaranteed a knockout or a shield, and in doing so, you are probably having to switch out and you give away alignment. And so the Pokemon in itself becomes a balance of shield and switch. You throw a Shadow Ball, you probably get a shield. If you stay in, you will die. You are 1200 stat product, you cannot tank the fast attacks. Your opponents will not be throwing charge attacks because they don't want to let you go back into shield form, so you are forced to give away alignment. And it will invite a completely new form of skill expression, because players will no longer be able to just sit there and tap with their really high attack Pokemon and try and nuke everything. It's more likely that they're thinking, as soon as I throw this first Shadow Ball, I probably need to switch out. And if I switch out, am I going to get locked into something that's so punishing that I won't be able to recover again? That's what they're going to have to think. And I think that that will be very, very difficult for a lot of players to navigate, so you will need to try and get one as quickly as you can and learn how it works. Now, as I say, this is not guaranteed. This is my proposal on how it works, because in my mind, it makes the most sense. It's unclear exactly how turn durations will work, because the switching is going to be needing to be coded a little bit differently to Morpeko, right? Morpeko switches after it throws a charge attack. This is not going to switch in the same way, so it's probably going to switch before the charge attack. In doing so, the form change of Morpeko that loses your 0-turn attack maybe doesn't happen when you change to Blade form. So you do the form change before the attack, you throw the attack, and you might be able to switch out without without losing your turn. Okay. You missed though as to why he'd have 2200 stat product in shield form at 839. So Lawrence, good question. Don't look at the stat product, because we know that the stat product is the sum of the attack, the defense, and the stamina. But we often use stat product as an indication of bulk. Here, we're not actually interested in the attack stat of Aegislash shield form. So the stat product is misleading. Because when you look at the defense and the stamina, those are the two that dictate how much bulk it actually has in practice, and those are the two stats that are comparable to a 21 to 2200 CP stat product Regice. So you're not doing damage, but you are still bulky, but you're not broken Bastiodon bulky. And I think that that is what allows a lot more balance to the way that it can be played. You have to make a decision. When do you throw the Shadow Ball? How much energy do you want? Because your opponent, once you throw, as I say, is unlikely to throw back, so you would have to switch. Then when you return, you would come back in shield form, but you're stuck with a situation where you have to wait 5, 6, nearly 7 seconds to get to your next Shadow Ball. And so your opponents, if they are seeing an Aegislash on your team sheet, also need to have a strategy. And that is why I think they are doing this before Worlds. It's not by accident. They're not thinking about this, right? They could be introducing a way of playing that is new. That to be the world champion at Pokemon Go, you need to be able to navigate. And I think a couple of you are rightly pointing out, this doesn't mean that the mechanic's going to work upon release, okay? Because we saw what happened with Morpeko. So let's not get complacent about whether or not the mechanic itself will operate as intended all the time. But in terms of the way that the mechanic will work, I think, and I hope that some of you might agree, that this would be a really smart way of doing it. Night Freeze, thanks very much for the raid, dude. Welcome in. So I think that this would be a really smart way of doing it. It caps how bulky the shield form will be, and it ensures that there is a positive and a negative for the entire way that this Pokemon operates. I still think, which attack stat would it use for CMP ties in this case? I think that's a great question. And I'm worried that they haven't considered it. I don't know. I don't know. But that will obviously be huge information either way, right? Because as long as it's consistent, then that's fine, right? If it's consistently the shield form's attack, then you know you don't win CMP. In a way, that's a good thing. Because if you were to win CMP in the blade form, you guarantee having to shield their attack. Whereas if you lose CMP in the shield form, you can possibly tank an attack unless it's going to be a super effective nuke. So it might be the case that you want to lose CMP. And that, again, is a tricky way to navigate the game, because usually you don't. I hate losing CMP. What do you mean considering the timing? I don't think they've obviously been planning this for a long time, so I don't know what you mean by timing. They've not just announced it and thinking of how to implement it now, right? The reality is, if you're introducing a meta-changing Pokemon 3.5 weeks before Worlds, you cannot be releasing it at level 47. 3 weeks before World, no, Sammy, that is very much regarded as enough time. I've had those conversations. That is regarded, I think it's 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks before Worlds. That is regarded as, I think it's 4 weeks before Worlds. That is regarded as enough time. The issue is whether or not it operates properly. If the mechanics don't work properly, or if it breaks the game, then you think, okay, we might need to get rid of this. Just until it's been fixed, and that's the same as Morpeko. But in terms of if the actual way that the Pokemon works in terms of learning it, 4 weeks is enough time. If you want to be the world champion, you've got to be the best at adapting to those kinds of things as well. Nothing is officially confirmed. Nothing is officially confirmed, and everything is always subject to change. All I'm saying to you is that if you're thinking of ways to prepare, I would assume it's going to be legal. I would assume it's going to keep its current moveset, and I'm proposing an idea of how it might work, because I know that there's been a lot of discussion as to whether or not it will form change or not, and I would suggest that it will be form changing. So I'm just trying to give you an idea of what that could look like in practice. Yeah, but realistically, Viking Barman, you fairly ask if people are preparing for it and then they ban it. Yeah, sure. But if that's the case, then you have the preparation that everyone was doing anyway, right? Like, you just can go back to preparation based on NAIC teams, which you might have already been doing for the past 3 weeks. So I think that for them, if they were to ban it, as long as they ban it with around 2 weeks notice, you're probably going to be okay. I think it's okay to have 2 weeks to revert to a meta that you were already playing in. If it were 2 weeks of another new meta, then I'd completely sympathize with your point. But given that it would be reverting to the meta that you should have been playing with for the last month at least, then I think that's probably manageable. One turn lag feels like it's at its worst currently. Do we trust them to take care of that and have this working properly enough time? Do you know what? Interestingly, I've been playing a couple of sets for you here, and I haven't really been playing, to be fair, off stream, but usually on stream things can be worse, right? I've not actually had any one-turn lag. What they will be doing at the World Championships to try and mitigate any issues is well, I'm not playing, but everyone will be playing with wired connection. And I think that that's maybe one approach that they are taking to try and tackle in-game issues. But I think that if you are playing Worlds, start preparing for a world that features Aegislash, and maybe start having a team in the background for if it's not present, right? There's no reason why you can't prepare for both. If you are not playing Worlds, if you can attend Worlds, I would really recommend you attend. Otherwise, I would definitely get involved with watching everything that happens, because I think that there's going to be a lot of very exciting things worth watching. So I'm excited. There's still a long time to go. The only preparation that I need to do is I need to buy some new suits that I'm not going to cook in. But I really want to put on a show for you guys, right? I really want to be able to bring a way of casting to these World Championships that you will enjoy watching the games with the sound on. I think that's something that everyone wants. So if you have any tips or anything that you would like from me, I'm always receptive to feedback. I hope that I've been doing justice to the casts that I've done so far, and I'm hoping to take that forward, and we'll see where it goes. But I think there's a lot to be excited about, and if they implement Aegislash in the way that I've described, I think that it will really be a good test of skill that players have never really been tested in this way before. And that's exciting in a way. That is in itself exciting. So let's go back. So Hisuian Zoroark, Hisuian Lilligant, and Tatsugiri, I don't think any of these will have play. They don't have the stat product for Great League. They are just probably Dex entries. I think Aegislash, and let's not forget that during this event, Rookedy is going to be available in shiny form, okay? So please remember that Rookedy shiny is absolutely beautiful, and it might invite you to run payback on your Corviknight as well, because you've obviously got Sand Attack and then payback for any Aegislash based on how popular Aegislash becomes. But shiny Rookedy, shiny Corviknight are really, really nice, and I hope that I get one. Right, should we do a little bit more GBL? Let's go. We are at 2649. We're using Lyle's recommended team of Steelix, Primeape, and Jumpluff. I don't know where people are in the leaderboards. Someone somewhere, I think, messaged me to say we've had our first legend, which is pretty quick, pretty cool. I don't know how many battles everyone's done. I haven't done too many. I'm pretty chill this season, I think, because I'm not preparing for a tournament or anything, so I'm just taking it easy. So happy to try things if you want me to try any Pokemon. Sameep, welcome in, dude. How you doing? Congratulations on almost hitting expert. Right. Probably need to shield, but I don't want to. Two, 3, 5, 6. What was their lead? It was the wheezing, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3. Difficulty is oh, interesting. 6, 7, 8. It's unlikely that they threw overheat here, so I'm hoping I've caught a triple resisted sludge. Cool. So 3. Here's the Lapras. 2. Remember that their wheezing's on 3, okay? Okay, I don't need Steelix anymore. Oh, it was a sparkling RE for... Oh, they did switch into wheezing, good, so they caught this on wheezing. Five. This is going to be close. It's going to be close. Ooh, getting in this aerial ace is huge. 8. Okay. Primate can tank a move. As long as it's not an overheat. Huge. Please, can I reach a Karate Chop versus the Lapras? I'm not going to, am I? Come on, Steelix. Yes. Yeah, getting those shields from Aerial Ace was pretty big. Shadow G-Weezing's so scary. I really wish I had a Shadow G-Weezing. And to be honest, I actually really wish that we could use bottle caps on Shadows. Your game was so easy. Okay, well, Lyle, this is why you need to go and win Worlds, right? How many triple resisted sludges did you catch in your game, Lyle? Because I'm here for content, alright? I'm here for fun. They're available in Rockets, a second encounter for Fairy and Poison. Okay, that's good to know, because I have a lot of stops, so I could actually play. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what do I want to do? Probably want to come in with Primate, actually. I don't really mind about alignment that much. Maybe I shouldn't be close combating. I'd rather just take the shield. Yeah, there we go. I think I might still be able to reach a Rage Fist. Yeah, easy. Okay, well they're probably not going to throw clanging scales into a Steelix, right? So we just catch it. They didn't throw. Now we do have to shield. Okay, what's in the back? Okay, we need to get back into Steelix quickly. 5, 6, 7, 8. Two, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Two. Nine. We don't go down to a play rough. So I think we're okay here. Lyle, you need to tell me these things beforehand, right? Like, I've not used your team, and I've not played any GBL. Are people using lots of jump luff now then? I feel like at NAIC there wasn't really a ton of jump luff. So I was surprised to hear that you've been running jump luff. It's around now, okay. That's good to know. Sorry, I've missed someone talking about Shadow Vic. You were wondering about Shadow Vic. It did really well for you in Ultra Field meta with acid pacing, wondering if it's shout for Great League. I did a scrim with a team featuring Shadow Vic that Lyle knows about, and I used it against Arceus Aurelius, and I won, and I was like, hey, Shadow Vic is pretty cool, but I think that there are just other Pokemon that are better. When you've only got 6 to use, I think that it's difficult to justify Shadow Vic over some of the other options like Shadow Sizzle. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hoping Jump Luff is good in the back, because it would be bad in the lead. 6. Why is my phone quite hot? 7, 8, 9. You always fang, okay. You're a degen, that's fine, I understand. Is there any point playing? There's not, right? Like, we didn't have enough delay on the switch timers that I can take advantage of anything. don't think there's any point. We should be winning lead. What? How would you play the lead, Samib? I think our only win con is that they shield this. And even then. No. Or maybe I should have just close combated because I would have reached a second one. Maybe I wouldn't have actually. Fang into swipe wins. Okay. Noted. Noted. Next time we fang into swipe. That's fine. We learn. Oh. For those of you that have been playing loads of GBL, do you have move changes that you would want to see after Worlds? I am hoping we will be able to announce the move updates at Worlds, like what happened last year. We'll see. But they must be getting finalized pretty soon, so. I see why you're running Crunch, though. I mean, this team feels a bit degen. Steelix is kind of funny. 7, 8, 9, 10. Thanks, Bowley. How you doing, dude? Yeah. I don't know what I'll be playing next season. Actually, I just got my caster rotation, so I know what I'm supposed to be casting. And subject to anything else coming up that makes me need to change. Shall I come in with Jump Lift? Maybe this is a bad idea. Getting cooked here, guys. I think I just have to take all of these fire punches because the Dusclops has an ice punch. Oh, you liked the bait? Well, it didn't work. Okay, that's nice that they lost a lot of... I feel like they lost a lot of energy there. Am I going to get baited here? Uh-oh, I lose, because that Tink has a play rough. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just shouldn't. Maybe I just don't bait. Like, just get the shield or die, baby. You know. I don't like the bait. I shouldn't have baited. I know you like the bait, but wasn't for me, Lyle. Wasn't for me. Pangori would never have baited. So why did Primeape? Would land the Fang on the Tink, then try to catch a Bulldoze on jump. I guess. Should I try and catch a drill run on jump left? Do you want me to do that? What do you think? No, why not? It'd be triple resisted, Lyle. Thomas says yes. Maybe I should be rage fisting here. Nope! Easy. Easy. Right. Win. Positive set. And now I'm tired. I don't know if I want to do any more sets, guys. So instead, if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, I'm happy to go through some things again. But GBL's not doing a lot for me right now. Which moves would I like to see changed? Now that is a good question. I'll tell you. I had a few thoughts on some things that I would like to see. Okay, let me come over here, I'll tell you. Okay, so I need to maybe rethink about some of these in light of Aegislash coming in and the impact that it's going to have on the meta, especially if it does hit like number 1, right? But bank a set. Oh, good idea, because the next time I stream I'll have an extra set, I guess. Not going to play these. Okay, banked it, thank you. Lawrence, that's good to hear, dude. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I didn't do a good gym session today, but I got there and I was like, look, even if it's a bit rubbish, at least I tried. And tomorrow I'll do a better one, and that's fine. But yeah. Remember, everyone, July is the month of investing in yourself and health, fitness, skincare, water, getting outside, touching grass. Okay, a couple of changes. I actually listed them alphabetically by type. I'll tell you them. Bug. What bug changes would I like to see? I would like to see a buff to a move like Silverwind, and maybe a little bit of distribution, for example, Volcarona, because it's cool. Dark, I think I would like to see a nerf to Crunch, and I would like to see that in the form of Crunch becoming a Scorching Sands clone, i.e. 50-80, but with only 10% chance of debuffing. That would reduce the pacing for Drapion very significantly, and I think that it would have enough damage to make up for the extra energy, such that it's still a viable attack. Dragon. Now, I had tons of dragon changes. I love dragons, so I've got a lot of ideas for them. One thing that I would personally like to see is Dragon Tail swapping its parameters around, pretty much. I would like to see it get to at least a 12 energy attack, and you can drop its damage down to something like 9. And I think that it would be nice to have some differentiation between the two dragon fast attacks, where one is damage focused, Dragon Breath, and one is energy focused. So I would like an energy focused Dragon Tail, and I think you can make it a little bit better than Hex. I would have it a little bit more damage than Hex, but I would have 12 energy and 9 damage. And then you can have some distribution of Dragon Tail. There's already a lot of Pokemon that have it, but for example, something like Tyranitar could be given Dragon Tail with energy generation. At 12 energy, it would take you to Brutal Swing in 3, and then obviously you've got your Stone Edge, which is your very strong attack, for which you would need 5, and it just might give Tyranitar some slightly more interesting plays, especially since Smackdown got nerfed. The next changes that I would like to see, also in the Dragon typing, are Breaking Swipe. I would love to increase the energy of that. Change that entirely. I don't like that it's a bait move with a 50-50 chance of debuffing. I think you can change it back to 100% debuff, but the way to do that would just be to make it a much more expensive move, so that Pokemon like Steelix aren't able to abuse spam it. I would also like to increase the energy of Dragon Claw. I don't think you need Dragon Claw to be 35 energy. I don't think Pokemon that are running Dragon Breath into Dragon Claw are particularly nice or fun. So why don't you increase Dragon Claw, make it a Psyshock clone if you have to. You can, there's lots of Pokemon that can learn Dragon Claw, for example, Charizard, and I think it would be better to have a bait move that has type variety at the 35 slot for dragons instead. So, for example, Guzzlord would have Dragon Tail, which would be generating 12 energy, Brutal Swing would be available after 3, and then Dragon Claw would actually be available after 4, but this time it would do significant damage, so it's worth running. In place of that 35 energy Dragon charged attack, because we've moved both Breaking Swipe and Dragon Claw under my proposal to higher energy, I would take Twister and make Twister an old Body Slam clone. 35 energy, 60 damage, and you can distribute that to very squishy dragons, maybe like Rayquaza, or Pokemon like Kingdra, or Pelipper even, if you want some Pokemon with coverage on those. And then Dragon Claw, as we just said, would be closer to a Psyshock clone. I would love to distribute that to Turtonator, so it gets it after 2 Incinerates, Reshiram and Zekrom as well. And I would also give, whilst we're here, Zekrom should be given Thunderfang, because Reshiram has Firefang, so there's no reason why Zekrom shouldn't have Thunderfang. Fairy typing. I was going to propose a nerf to Play Rough. It just increased its energy by 5 and its damage by 10. In doing so, you prevent Dedenne from hitting it after 7 Thundershocks, and you instead make it need to throw 8 Thundershocks, and that pacing will hurt Dedenne quite a lot. It slows Azumarill down ever so slightly. It's now 6. It would be 6-6 instead of 6-5, but it's primarily for Dedenne. Guys, I then didn't know what... Welcome in, Martine. I then didn't know what I feel about the current position of fighters in the meta. And there's a part of me that's thinking, do we feel ready to have counter going back up to 7 energy? And would it work if reduce the damage by 1? Do you see what I'm saying? Martine, I honestly, truly don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know what a server tag TNP is. So, who knows? All I know is that EJ has ordered me some Wasted Potential merch, so that'll be coming soon. Because it comes in an oversized XL fit, and that's more my vibe. Okay, so I think be okay with counter going up to 7 energy and 7 damage. I think if Aegislash is really good, then I don't think you need to nerf Rage Fist. If Aegislash is not doing as well as they want it to do, maybe you nerf Rage Fist, right? Because Annihilate would then be getting Rage Fist in 5. But there's something about a world where we have an Annihilate versus an Aegislash and it actually being pretty even that excites me. There's something about the idea of Annihilate and Aegislash going head to head which I think is cool, where you know that Aegislash will one-shot that Annihilate, but in the process it's doing no damage with these Fury Cutters. So I think it would be interesting. Martine, you missed a lot. We talked about how I think Aegislash is going to be introduced, what I think people should be doing in preparation for Worlds, all of the events coming up. We did 2 sets of GBL, but then I got a little bit bored. My new room. Okay, so I've got a couple of things in this new room that I will tell you. Obviously, I've got my medals here. I need to put maybe some more items in this part of the room because there's a little bit of a blank space in between. But one thing I really, really like, I've realised that I'm flipped the other way around. One thing I really like is this, which is, they're called nano blocks, I think. But there is an ability for them to be, they are basically orchestrated to my music. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what that means. I'm going to turn the music up a tiny bit, and we'll see if it works. The music's just some generic, like, background music remixes. Can you see this? It's pretty cool. Maybe a cabinet to hide the cables. Yeah, I could do that. I think I also have some... Cable bundle stealth. See, one part of me prepared for this. I just haven't got around. I've got some like cardboard boxes here. Is that song PG, Martine? It's in French, so I don't actually know. Are you sending me something that I shouldn't be playing? What's this? Magnetic cable management. Got fluff all over me now. I don't have the thing that mutes the VOD thing. I think the difficulty is the YouTube stream keeps complaining if I have different music on. The Twitch one's fine. It's YouTube that keeps striking me and telling me off. Okay, we're doing an unboxing. I wonder, I'm going to try something, but if it's... my shorts are pretty short right now, so I'm going to just pull them down a bit. Let's try something. I've never tried this before, so if it doesn't work, I can only apologize, okay? But what I'm going to attempt to do is press a button on my webcam that will flip the camera down to what I can see on my desk. But I don't know exactly where it's going to point. So if you just see my shorts, this is fine. This is possible. Okay. Ready? Where's the button? I don't actually know what the button is. I'm going to try this one. There we go. I need to move it slightly, don't I? Which way? Oh, it doesn't really work because you actually get blocked by the PC. Interesting, though. Cool. Okay, well, I just have to do it here. This is what I'm holding. Wait, what's the right way around for you? Oh, it's not actually mirrored, so I can just hold it normally. This is what I'm looking at, this. This stream is now age restricted. Yeah, guys. I wonder if there is a way that I can get it to... Maybe if I... Trying to do it for you without blocking. More like this. Okay, so I bought this desk. It's a Magnus Pro, which is a very overpriced desk, if I'm 100% honest with you guys. Do I have a bin? I don't know if I have a bin. And then this was the last box, which says it's cable management, right? user manual. I don't think I need a user manual. Ooh, okay, these are actually very shiny and metallic and pretty. Very sleek. So I think the idea is that any cables that I have that are around the desk should supposedly... Oh, because these are magnetic. You see that? So I think the idea is that I can use these clips to bring anything that's strong. Which is pretty cool, right? Now, what I would really like to show you, I'm not entirely sure how I can, is how good... This is not me trying to sell you a Magnus Pro desk, but I have little to no cables on show because everything is built into the desk. And what I mean by that is all of my cables that are at the back, that are that side, right? They just go down into a panel. The desk itself, this desk is electric. So the desk leg plugs into the wall. And inside the desk, in the panel that's here at the back, there is a plug socket. So I have two extension cables, one here, and they plug into the desk cable here. The desk itself has an electrical cable going through its leg to the floor, and the desk is then plugged into the wall. And nothing that is on the desk is plugged into the wall, it's all plugged into the desk, which is pretty cool. So this is just more cable management tools, which I don't think I need at the moment because the wires that we were talking about are the wires that are over where's my arm? Over that way against the wall. This is super magnetic. Look at this. Right, this is... How can I try and... Okay, I can show you like this. This is how I can show you. Here's my drawing of my melodic. Yeah, so just so you get an idea of how magnetic this is. Yeah, very cool desk. I wish I could actually show you more of my setup. I don't know how I can do it, but... Oh, I know what I can do. I took a picture. I'm going to flip you back to my face now. But I've just realised because I've been moving the camera, it might not go exactly correct. So bear with me. Okay, and I've moved the camera slightly, so let me just tilt that back. Hello. Okay, so what I wanted to show you was what my desk setup looks like when I don't have all of my lights on. So I have two key lights here, one big one here, one big one here. Let me just show you what the lighting works, what the lighting looks like. So I can just turn my key lights off by pressing a button here. Ready? Gone. And now I'm evil. And then the key lights come back on. So there's two key lights, one. Here's, if I turn off, that's my fill light. My key light. So I've got two lights there. I want to show you what when I'm just like playing or gaming in this room or watching something sometimes in this room, I would like to show you what my setup looks like, because I think growing up, the idea of being in gaming and, you know, having cool setups and things was obviously dreamy. Okay, I'm going to show you why I'm very proud of what I've been able to do. Upload this picture into the stream. Do that. Oh no, I can just share it as a web image, can't I? Yeah. Okay, come look at this. This is my setup. See this? like this. You can't actually see all of it. How do I show you more of it? I'm trying to show you the bottom of it as well, because... Oh wait, I can zoom out a little bit. Not ideal, but... That's kind of what I'm working with. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see there. Which is pretty cool. So you can see my key lights at the top, here and here. Here's my little camera. I do have a stream deck. I haven't really used it yet. Don't really know. I mean, maybe it would have assisted with some of the transitions that I was trying now, but that would take some time. But yeah, you can see that there's very few wires around, which I think is quite nice, because everything's going through. So I don't know if you can see here, these monitor arms, they're full of wires. All of the wires go through the monitor arms and into the desk. And there's no wires down the back. Can you see that? There's no wires down the back of the wall, nothing, because everything plugs into the back of the desk, just at the back here. And then the wire comes down the leg and is plugged onto the wall on the left side. I like the setup, it's cool, and I've got space for it, which is nice. A lot of space for activities. So yeah, solo leveling has reached. Solo leveling is just so good, so good. I feel like I distracted myself from the moves that I would like to see good next season, but it's fine. We can discuss those in more depth another time. Martine, have you streamed today already? I think you did, didn't you? I think I was in the gym when I saw your stream go up. Guys, who shall we raid? Unless anyone has any other questions, I think we're going to go and raid Marto. Let me know if you have any questions. Watch it back if you want to hear everything I said on what I think Aegislash could look like. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your days. Enjoy your evenings. Thank you very much for joining, and see you probably at some point this. Right. Bye, team.